Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and hopefully having a good week and upcoming to a beautiful Shabbos. Even though we're going into the 3 weeks of the mourning for the destruction of the temple, but still we have to be the moments of being happy and overcoming. Just one short point regarding to this week's Parsha. The Parsha of Pinchas, as is being called, and the name of Pinchas. And we all know the story about Pinchas being a zealous person by killing Zimri ben Salu, as we learned at the end of last week's Parsha. And as we learned this week's Parsha, God is vouching for him, and God is giving him that present that he shall be a Kohen, and all his descendants should be Kohanim for the rest of time. We'll learn in the Zohar. The Zohar teaches us about Pinchas that he was a reincarnation of Nadav and Avihu. As we know, Nadav and Avihu were the two great sons of Aaron, and Nadav and Avihu perished. We learned that quite a few weeks ago at the first day when they served at the temple. As we learned there, they brought a fallen fire to God, and this is how they perished. So we learn in the Zohar that Pinchas was a reincarnation of these two, and he came back in the world in order to rectify what they did. And this needs a lot of explanation, a lot of understanding. We don't have the time now to go into all the details. But what did they do wrong, Nadav and Avihu? We know that Nadav and Avihu, they were great righteous Jews, righteous people. And how did he rectify what they did? And there's many layers of explanation in this idea. But just we're going to give something very short and sweet, what the Rabbi shared with us. And this is one of the Rebbe's lessons that we'll live with. And many explanations are being given that, yes, Nadav and Avihu were great people, and they died by getting so close to God, and this itself was something wrong. But God does not want you to die for him. He wants you to stay alive. But many question that, and they say that this itself is a great thing. As we know the story with the Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo, that he writes himself that he almost had the privilege to be a martyr, to die for God. So we see from all the stories that to die for God is a great thing. So therefore, what did they do wrong? Or what did Pinchas do in order to rectify that? The Rebbe gave explanation as follows. When they passed away, the great Kohanim, Nadav and Avihu, we'll learn that it came a fire through the nose, and it took the soul above, and this is the way they perished. And we'll learn the story that the soul perished, but the body stayed here. And to the Rebbe, this is a great symbol of understanding. Yes, they got close to God, and this is why they passed away. But where did they go wrong, so-called? Their soul went close to God, but the body stayed here. The idea of being a martyr to God is not only that your soul is given to God, because if so, what are you doing here? Why did the soul come down to this world? The idea of being a martyr to God is that body goes with the soul to Hashem. And this is, as we know, the famous story with Rabbi Akiva. And this is the famous story with the Bet Yosef. It's not just the soul to be connected to Hashem. To take your body and bring it to connect to Hashem. And with that, the Rebbe explains how Pinchas rectified Nadav and Avihu by being their reincarnation. When he did his act of zealousness, as we learned at the end of last week's Parshat, what he did, it didn't give his soul to Hashem, it gave his physical body to Hashem. As we know the story, that he put his physical being in a big danger. And as we know the story that the tribe of Shimon wanted to kill him, and etc. with all the details, we can't get into it now. He physically endangered his body to Hashem. Explains us the Rabbi, what he was doing, he was giving away to Hashem. He was zealous on giving himself away to Hashem, not only his neshama, not only his soul, he gave his body away to Hashem. He didn't die, he stayed alive. But what he did, he gave his soul and his body to Hashem. And this is what Pinchas is rectifying Nadav and Avihu. His rectification is by showing giving yourself to God is not that the neshama perishes from the body. Giving yourself to God means give your soul and your body together. If you'll stay here, is even better. But give yourself completely away to Hashem. And this is the role model of what the Rabbi is always teaching us. Mesirut nefesh, giving your life away does not mean that you have to perish. Giving your life away means take your soul in your body and completely give yourself away to Hashem. And that's the role model of Pinchas. How he gives himself, his physical body, his physical being, he gives himself to Hashem. And this is the message of the Rebbe to us. Giving ourselves to Hashem, we have to stay alive. And we should stay alive. And we should grow alive. But our soul and body should be completely devoted to Hashem. Let's continue on this message. Let's live with that. And by living with that, hopefully we'll be able to transform our exile to a great redemption. We should not have to fast on the 17th of Tammuz and on the 9th of Av. We should be able to celebrate with Mashiach. Have yourself all a beautiful Shabbos.